Hello everyone and welcome to your tutorial on harmony. So yesterday Mr. Robertson walked you through some basics about harmony, and you learned essentially that there are groups of three notes. Those make chords, and there are two major types of chords I said major, that's not a pun, I just said major, but there are two types of chords that you most commonly hear. The first one of those is a major chord. It's the happy chord. Dun, da, da, da. Very happy. All happy chords, all major chords. And then there are minor chords, and they're the sad chords. Yeah, so that's it. There's two basic types of chords, and those are major and minor. And we're going to look at those a little bit more intensely today and how to make them in a DAW. But again, they're groups of three chords on the piano. If you look down here at the piano portion of the screen, you'll see that it's a root note, and then skip a note. That's the middle note, skip a note. We call that the root, the third, and the fifth. So if you count 1, skip 2, 3, skip 4, 5, root, third, fifth, that makes up a chord. Bum, ba, ba, you have knowledge. So if you're playing in a chord and you're playing it on the piano, all you do is note, skip, note, and that's it. You've got a basic chord progression, or a basic chord. Now, we call them all by their root notes, and let's look back at a picture right quick. Here is all the scales chords written out. Note, skip the space, note, skip the space, note. And they go all the way up. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B, D, and F. You can just forget ever playing that because that is a terrible chord. So just nix that one out of your memory. And then C. And if you think about the scale as note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then those are also the chord names. Classic music uses these Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, with 7 being the weird one. We're going to forget that we ever use 7. But Nashville and pop music began to use the number system as well, but they use Arabic numbers like we do every day in our life. So we call those chords 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the basic chords. If you walk into a music studio in Nashville and they say play a 1 chord in the key of C, you know that the root note of that chord is going to be C, and it's going to be a C, E, and G. Do I expect you to be able to do that off the top of your head? No, that's not the point. But I do want you to know how to build them. So let's look at this. I'm going to create 8 one-measure long chords by playing the piano. Here we go. Notice that it's always note, skip a note, note, skip a note. This is the one we don't like. So I conveniently wrote them so that the 1 chord is in measure 1, the 2 chord is in measure 2, and so forth and so on. As always, we hate going in extra note. We hate going in and then being right. So I'm going to highlight them all. I'm going to right click and I'm going to quantize to the whole note. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Lengthen them out a little bit so they last the full time. So a 1 chord, a 2 chord, a 3 chord, a 4 chord, a 5, a 6. We don't care about this one because it is neither major nor minor. And then back to our original root chord, we just call this an octave higher because this is a C and this is a C, and both of those have roots in the same note name. So here we go. These chords make up most of pop music if you think of them as their numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some famous progressions like Heart and Soul, which is 1, 6, 4, 5, or all of like 50s rock music. you're a Journey fan, Don't Stop Believing is 1 5 6 4 1. So, pretty famous chord progressions. We just turned around the order of the notes there. If you're a big, let's say, Pachelbel fan, right? Classic music fan, there's a chord progression that uses just these chords. Ooh, I messed that up. Let me try that again. Yeah, you've probably heard that before. A lot of times you hear it called Seating of the Mothers. Okay, so I'm going to add a new track. And this is going to be much like what I expect you to do in the assignment. But instead of looking at it on the piano roll or the actual piano instrument, we're going to look at building it on the piano roll. So I'm going to make sure that I have my pencil tool selected. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to build a major chord. If you have no clue what you're doing about building a major chord, here you go. I call this the 4-3 method. So if you look, you build your root note. Then you're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to add your pencil note. And then you're going to count up 3. This is why I call it the 4-3. 4 first, 3 second. 1, 2, 3, boom. There, my friends, is a major chord. Let me solo this track just a second. Back to the beginning. Same chord that we played up here. It's just now here. Now, if we wanted that to be a minor chord, let me get rid of this just a sec. All we would do is count 3 first and then 4. That's the 3-4 minor chord. So major was 1, 2, 3, 4 first. This one is 1, 2, 3 first. So there's the 3 and then the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice the top note actually is in the same in both chords. It's this middle note, or the note we call the third of the chord, that adds the color and the fun. So here's a minor chord. I'm going to turn the metronome off for just a second. Here again, minor chord. And if I want to make that major, all I have to do is slide this middle note. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. There's major, happier sounding. So I want you to build an 8-measure progression of major and minor chords. That's it. Just 8 measures. Each one, I want you to use a 1-measure chord like this. This takes up 1 measure. And I can even zoom in just a little bit to make it easier because I botched that one up. So let me shorten those just a bit. Come back. So now I'm going to write another chord. This time, you don't even have to stay on the white keys for this. If you follow my 4-3 or 3-4 method, you can have some fun. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So these are all major chords thus far. Let's go with 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where do I want to go from there? Let's go back to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then I want to drop down to... I've got a little more experience at this, so hopefully it's going to come out okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. You're going to have to experiment a little bit along the way. Or 1, 2, 3. How many measures have I gotten? Ooh, this is my last chord. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I've just written a progression. It's 8 measures long. You can see there. Here we go from the top. Really, I think this is some of the most fun parts of music writing is chord progressions and getting it right. So here are a few fun things that you can do. This would be what I am looking for in your actual assignment, what I just did. If you need some assistance writing that, I've left you this piano chord guide. This is what it would look like if you played all the 12 major chords on the piano. The yellow ones are the right ones. This is what it would look like if you scroll down if you play minor chords. Stay away from any of the other ones on the bottom of the page. Not good. If you want to make chords and hear what they would sound like what does a C to an F to a G sound like? Well, that happens in these songs, and it's used in 495 pop songs, which is a lot. Like 3.8% of all pop songs go 1, 4, 5, or C, F, G. Kind of cool resource. This is called Hook Theory. And then finally, here's Chord. You can build your own chord progression and test it out with different things. Oh, first, you can also change this. This makes it a lot more fun. Boom. So that's a way to test out your chords and see if you like it. So, follow these ideas, tips, tricks, and build your chord progression. All you need for today is an 8-measure chord progression. Each measure is 1 chord worth. Have a great day. Bye.